2 a.m. Everything was silent. I stood inside the elevator when a masked man walked in, his exposed eyes strikingly handsome. I avoided prolonged eye contact, glancing down only to freeze at the sight before me. A thumb-thick chain extending from the man's wrist trailed across the floor. The metallic clink of shifting links echoed as he adjusted his arm. Elevator. Midnight. Chains. My throat constricted with a loud gulp that reverberated in the confined space. "Don't be scared," the man reassured with crinkling eyes. Then abruptly cursed. "Holy shit, where's my dog?" Biting my lip hard, I suppressed hysterical laughter until my face turned purple. The ascending elevator transformed into a frantic scene as Ethan nearly clawed at the doors, radiating panic that would make any dog owner sympathize. My composure shattered completely when tears welled in his bloodshot eyes. Thrusting tissues from my purse, I blurted, "Don't cry. I'll help search. We'll find him." "Dog thieves," he rasped, clutching the paper. "Not happening." My firmness steadied him slightly. "We will. Ethan." He sniffled as the elevator dinged. "Jade." He bolted like the wind, his hushed calls haunting the courtyard. "Qatar, Qatar." The absurd name tempted nervous giggles. No wonder the dog ran away. My composure dissolved further watching him inspect sewer grates with manhole-lifting dedication. "He wouldn't be down there?" I ventured during his third excavation. "You don't know Qatar, master of hideouts." "Right. Clearly a canine Houdini." When our search proved fruitless, I suggested dawn reinforcements through my friend's local information group. The defeated slump of Ethan's shoulders softened when I added him on WeChat. Back home, I stared at the ceiling, repeating the name now branded in my mind. Ethan. The chain-wielding dog dad had unwittingly anchored himself in my memory. After staring at the screen for a while, I pushed open the guest bedroom door. Couture. Dinner time. A Shiba Inu pounced to lick my face with such enthusiasm you'd think I raised it myself. Dogs really take after their owners, both trust people too easily. I mixed canned meat with kibble and set it before the dog, ruffling its round head. "I'll take you home at dawn. Your brother's handsome face is getting gaunt from worry while you're gone." Couture glanced up briefly before resuming its voracious eating. The room remained dark except for the computer screen's eerie glow displaying a document. Ethan Wright. Male. 23. Prominent esports streamer. Lives alone in Unit 1601. Walks dog nightly. Prefers sportswear. Loves animals. Terrified of cockroaches. After some thought, I added, easily moved to tears. Quick to trust others. The lower left corner showed this file created a month ago with 56 shocking edits. I sent my brother a red envelope via phone. If he hadn't cut Couture's collar before Ethan entered the elevator that day. Given how Ethan dotes on this dog, our plan might have failed. By 7 o'clock, urgency gripped me. With building surveillance reactivating at 8 after maintenance, I needed to return Couture quickly. As I headed out, my gaze caught the drink on the table. Maybe we could maximize Couture's usefulness. Outside Unit 1601, I took a deep breath and knocked. Moments later, Ethan appeared. "Couture?" I bounced the dog in my arms. "Surprise!" His smile lit up the hallway. "How did you find him?" Maintaining eye contact, I lied smoothly. "I searched the neighborhood again after you went home. Luckily he didn't wander far." Ethan's lips pressed into a grateful line, looking ready to kowtow in appreciation. As he reached for Couture, I swiftly crushed the hidden pouch under my shirt, feigning shock at the dampness spreading across my chest. I cried. He peed." Couture turned accusing eyes at me, clearly thinking, "You want to flirt with my human and blame me for this?" I soothed the dog with a look. "Don't worry. I'll buy you truckloads of canned meat once I land your brother." Ethan flushed crimson. "I'm so sorry. He's never done this before. Let me replace your clothes." Waving magnanimously, I declined. "No need. I'll just shower. After 2 steps, I patted empty pockets dramatically. Oops, forgot my keys. My Oscar-worthy performance could have taught masterclasses in acting. The unsuspecting Ethan swallowed the bait whole. You're welcome to use my shower if you don't mind. Steam rose in Ethan's bathroom as I marveled at my luck. Who needed backup plans when everything went this smoothly? Just as I finished bathing, Knuckles rapped the door. A pale, elegant hand extended through the steam. This one's new. For you. I took the shirt, my damp fingertips accidentally brushing against Ethan's palm. His hand stiffened momentarily before jerking back like he'd been burned. A mischievous smirk crept across my face. Such bashfulness, calling him a timid bunny wasn't far off. After changing into Ethan's clothes, I studied myself in the mirror. Something felt missing. Ah, got it. I quickly dampened the ends of my hair, letting droplets soak through the shirt until it clung to my skin. The hem barely grazed my thighs thanks to Ethan's height advantage, completely obscuring my shorts. For all appearances, I might as well have been wearing nothing but his shirt. My conscience prickled. Jade, aren't you afraid karma's gonna bite you for being this scheming? Ethan had vanished when I stepped out. Mid-puzzle, the door burst open revealing him laden with grocery bags. His gaze locked onto me, handsome face flushing crimson as his grip failed. Packages clattered across the floor. You. I blinked innocently. What's wrong? Nothing. He crouched hastily to gather scattered items. Like I'd pass up this golden opportunity. Kneeling nearby, I pretended to help while stealing glances at his chiseled profile and burning earlobes. When our hands reached for the final item simultaneously, mine settled over his. The charged moment shattered as a thumb-sized brown creature ambled into view. My blood ran cold, the white escapee from my purse glared accusingly near the sofa. How did Plan B escape? Ethan froze. Sweat beading. Jade, cockroach. Don't worry. I soothed maliciously. It'll leave after feeding. He yelped like a scalded cat, rocketing upward so fast he nearly gave me cardiac arrest. Mid-sprint toward the bedroom, he U-turned to drag me along. Hot tears pricked my eyes, if only he knew I'd planted that bug. The slammed door vibrated as Ethan leaned against it, panting. I mimicked his panic, clutching my chest. After a long time, suspicion dawned. Sealed windows, perimeter spray, how'd it get in? You went out earlier. I deadpanned. Must have hitched a ride. Right. My cheeks ached from suppressed laughter. This guy swallowed lies like candy. His immaculate bedroom boasted military-grade organization. The king-sized bed's plush surface beckoned. I perched on the edge, smirking at his renewed shyness. Ethan stood rigidly in the corner like a disciplined schoolboy, neck crimson. Join me? Standing's tiring. He shook his head, ears glowing. Not tired. Our casual chat gradually steered toward palmistry. I know a bit about reading fortunes. Want me to check yours? The words instantly piqued Ethan's interest. He sat down within arm's reach, extending his hand toward me. I played with those distinct knuckles, fingertips lightly tracing patterns across his palm. Look at this prosperity line, I said with mock seriousness. Clear wealth indications here. Your life path shows no disruptive marks and stretches all the way to the wrist. That's exceptional longevity. Oh, your love line suddenly thickens at age 23. When's your birthday? 23. Feigning surprise, I gave him an exaggerated congratulatory look. Looks like this is your year. The corner of Ethan's mouth twitched. Before he could respond, scratching sounds came from the door. He rose to let in Shorts, who completely ignored his human and barreled toward me. The corgi's soulful eyes stared up, something suspicious bulging in his cheeks. I obediently cupped my hands beneath his muzzle. With slobbery triumph, Shorts deposited a saliva-coated cockroach directly onto my lifeline. This had to be payback for earlier. though not afraid of insects. I wasn't about to tolerate 6 legs squirming in my palm. Every hair stood on end as I shook my wrist violently enough to dislocate it, performing what could only be described as an electrified rain dance. The ill-fated roach went airborne, straight onto Ethan's shoulder. Then it spread its wings. Our synchronized screams nearly blew the roof off as we stampeded toward the living room. The doorway became ground zero for a full-body collision. Wedged sideways mid-air, I pedaled uselessly like an overturned beetle until an unseen force shoved me forward. Ethan grabbed my arm mid-fall, becoming my human crash mat. Now I hovered inches above him, palms flattened against his cotton-clad chest. Our noses nearly touched. Through the thin fabric, I could map every ridge of muscle. Some detached part of my brain noted, did Plan B just backfire spectacularly? My gaze drifted from his dilated pupils to the tempting curve of his lower lip. Kiss him? Kiss him. Definitely kiss him. Ethan's pulse thundered beneath my hands. The floor's cold. He rasped, eyes darting everywhere but my face. I cheerfully agreed. As I shifted my weight, a fingernail accidentally grazed sensitive territory. The choked sound he made could have melted glaciers. Half risen, Ethan collapsed back onto the floor like a felled tree, eyes glazing over. Help me up, he finally managed, voice wrecked. The moment his feet touched ground, Ethan transformed into a whirlwind of hospitality, fetching juice, fluffing cushions, handing me a shopping bag containing clothes that made my eyes water. I'll change into my own stuff later, I protested, staring at the designer price tag. Return these. Ethan didn't look up from the blood-streaked beef he was slicing. His marble, pale fingers, smeared crimson, moved with lethal precision. The contrast was disturbingly beautiful. Hearing this, he looked up at me and said softly, "Go change. It'll look good on you." The most lethal kind of flirtation was the subtle kind. Before I knew it, I stood before the full-length mirror in the new outfit. I had to admit, his taste was decent, at least it wasn't that tacky straight guy fashion sense. The ensemble gave off serious Korean chaebol heiress vibes. Ethan brought dishes to the dining table. When he saw me emerge from the walk-in closet, he flashed a toothy grin. "It really does suit you." My normally thick skin inexplicably flushed at his words. How bizarre. Over dinner, I ate with gusto while increasingly convinced Ethan was extraordinary. Handsome face, great physique, didn't smoke or club. Most importantly, he could cook. Jade, how old are you? Without thinking, I blurted out, C-cup. Ethan looked utterly confused. Huh? Oh, you meant age? I'm 24, a year older than you. I blinked mischievously. You can call me Big Sister. I was just teasing him. With only a year's difference and his shy disposition, getting him to actually say it seemed impossible. The next instant, Big Sister. My rice went down the wrong pipe. Choking violently, I nearly coughed my lungs out as Ethan rushed over to pat my back. Did he have any idea how illegal it was to call someone Big Sister with that angelic face? For a moment I suspected he did it on purpose. But seeing the innocence in those clear eyes made me reconsider. Failed at flirting and got outplayed instead. How fucking pathetic. I quickly changed the subject. Not many guys can cook these days. How'd you learn? Ethan's back patting hesitated briefly. His tone remained neutral. I'm illegitimate. After my mom died when I was 13, I lived alone. Learned then. Sorry. His eyes crinkled into a pure, guileless smile. It's fine. This is the first time I've told anyone about my family. Don't know why, but I feel like I can trust you. Cold sweat dripped down my temples. This undeserved trust might actually shorten my lifespan. After dinner, I helped Ethan clean up, watching him load the dishwasher. I pretended to call a locksmith before making excuses to leave, though I wanted to stay longer. Having pulled an all-nighter left me feeling like my body was moving while my soul lagged behind. There'd be plenty of time later, no need to rush. As I opened the door, Ethan called out, "Big sister." Do you like gaming? I rolled my eyes playfully. Love it. But I suck. Can't find any pros to carry me. Truth was, I knew nothing about games. Ethan's eyes instantly sparkled. Then come to my place after you wake up. I'll carry you. Hell yes. I agreed immediately. Back home, I sat staring at that document for a long while. Thoughts tangled. All mental threads led to one person, Ethan. Finally, I added a line at the end. I can't quite figure him out. You're here. The door to 1601 opened, revealing a warm, delicious-smelling Ethan. My hair was still dripping, clearly fresh out of the shower. I handed Ethan a crate of cherries and stepped inside to change shoes. He uttered a line straight from my aunt's playbook. You didn't have to bring anything. I grinned. Consider this bribery for the gaming god. Don't get mad if I suck later. Ethan radiated that unconscious charm of his, stating with dead seriousness, I'd never be upset with you. That earnestness hit like a critical strike. All my usual schemes withered before that sincerity. I simply muttered, good to know. While Ethan washed the cherries in the kitchen, I wandered through his immaculate living room. Not a single trace of feminine existence, the man lived like a monk. My gaze fell on an open journal atop a desk. Though not one to snoop. My sharp eyes caught a phrase before I could look away, dull existence. Brightened by newfound distraction. Distraction? Underwear thief? Before I could ponder, Ethan materialized silently beside me, placing the cherry bowl precisely over the journal. Let's game, Jade? My attention snapped to him. Absolutely. As a top-ranked PUBG streamer with 20 million followers, Ethan might as well have brought a bazooka to a water gun fight coaching me. He set up a laptop. Our chase and right duo ready for battle. Hostile northwest of you. Find cover. Ethan warned through comms. I solemnly nodded before face-planting into the dirt. Regroup here. When I ran over, he showered me with loot like a piñata explosion, medkits, adrenaline shots, extended mags, Tier 3 armor. I happily hoarded supplies while treating the battlefield as my personal runway, changing outfits 15 times from looted crates. How? I gaped as Ethan sniped another target. I didn't hear anything. Enhanced auditory processing and directional sense. He shrugged. A sudden realization chilled me. If he could detect faintest rustles. Had he noticed my brother's fabric scissors that night? But why wouldn't he have stopped us? And he'd seemed genuinely distraught. Our squad included 2 randoms, a mute survivalist and a girl glued to Ethan's 6. When the girl whined through comms with syrup-thick sweetness, Ethan, could you spare a muzzle break? I nearly gagged. Don't have extras. He flatly replied. Undeterred. She purred. You're so good. Let's team up later. I rolled my eyes hard enough to strain ocular muscles. Oh honey. You have no idea. You call that coy? You're practically grinding your knees raw. Maybe train for 2 more years before trying to play green tea. If you're hopeless, just enroll in my class. You're embarrassing our entire phony community. I thought someone as aloof as Ethan would never resort to extremes, even when annoyed. Boy, was I dead wrong. Ethan smirked, his voice dripping with dark allure. Sure. Come to me first, and I'll give you the muzzle. Coming. Big bro. Then I watched him pull the pin on a grenade and lob it at the stairwell. The girl had just reached the 2nd floor when, boom, dust and debris erupted. A fresh loot box materialized on the ground, pulsing with eerie green light. White text flashed on my screen. Your teammate Ethan eliminated Meow Meow Cutie with a grenade. What the hell? Ethan's tone stayed flat. Your voice irritates me. Not even 1/10 as pleasant as Jade's. He muted the now grayed Meow Meow Cutie's mic icon. I asked, Won't killing teammates get your account flagged? No. My account's reputation weight is high enough. Ah. The audacity of top-tier players. Turns out every gentleman's just a polished scoundrel. He disabled squad matching afterward, not like he needed backup anyway. One liability, me, was plenty. 2,000 years later, I finally processed Ethan's earlier jab. Leaning into his space, I whispered, "You think my voice is nice, don't you, Ethan?" He wet his chapped lips, crimson tongue flicking briefly. His ocean-deep eyes locked onto mine. Nice. I toyed with his collar button. Want to hear something even nicer? Internal screaming. Ethan's live stream had been running this whole time. Millions just heard me flirt like a thirsty raccoon. I stared numbly at the comment avalanche. Wenzy from the LY squad, no. Mom forbids this. You're still my baby. Wild King, sniff. My boy's all grown up and chasing girls. Ethan's number one, back off. Hussy. That's my man. Panty raid crew, AHHH Ethan, my voice is hotter, pick me. But a few comments soothed my soul. Sugar cookie, anyone else think Ethan's acting different today? Dude said more in 10 minutes than his usual 10-hour streams. Sunshine brain, Wild's definitely smitten. Lovebug bite him? Ethan propped his chin on one hand, watching my face cycle through outrage, smugness, and despair. He chuckled. Jade. I turned. The screen's glow haloed his face, ethereal and fragile as a soap bubble. Today's fun. Haven't felt like this since Mom left. Ice water drenched my veins. I couldn't meet his gaze. With trembling hands, I ended the stream and forced out hoarsely, "Can you tell me about your mother?" Ethan leaned back in his chair, staring blankly at the screen as if reminiscing. My mother had unfortunate luck. She fell for a man, willingly endured hardships with him through entrepreneurial struggles, even drank until her stomach hemorrhaged to secure investments for him. She believed every "I love you" he uttered and was certain he'd marry her. But human hearts are the most unfathomable things in this world. Just when the company finally stabilized and bitter days turned sweet, he cheated with the daughter of a business partner because she could offer better prospects. My mother discovered she was pregnant while heartbroken. After careful consideration, she chose to raise me rather than terminate the pregnancy. Since childhood, I vowed never to let my future lover suffer like she did. Childbearing isn't women's obligatory duty. If a woman ever chooses to bear my child, I'll ensure she never regrets that devotion. He paused, engulfed in sorrow. Truthfully, I caused her deepest pain. If she hadn't brought me lunch during class that day, the car accident wouldn't have happened. My heart ached as I tousled his hair. It's not your fault. You were just a child. Your mother wouldn't want this guilt consuming you. What became of that man? Terminal lung cancer. He and his wife only have a daughter. Recently he sought me out, wanting me to inherit his company as compensation. I forced cheerfulness while suppressing turbulent emotions. Upon closing my apartment door, I slumped against it, gasping for air. Adoration could be faked. Affectionate tones could be acted. Even blushes could be manufactured by holding breath. But heartbeat patterns never lie. When Ethan spoke those words, my pulse raced like war drums while unprecedented internal conflict erupted. After prolonged hesitation, I texted, "I'm withdrawing from this case. Find someone else." The reply came instantly, "Understood. MS. Chase. Per contract. You'll need to pay 20 times penalty fee." Fuck. I knew this would happen. Though the contract's terms were legally questionable, their lawyers had bulletproofed the clauses. I'd never anticipated wanting to quit when signing, gnawing my lower lip until metallic blood filled my mouth. I clawed at my hair. 20-fold compensation, I couldn't afford that even selling myself. After my prolonged silence, they mercifully suggested, "If you can't make him sign willingly, try alternative methods." His alcohol tolerance is weak. Need I elaborate further? My trembling fingers typed, understood. There exists a profession euphemistically called family emotional consultants, or more bluntly, professional homewreckers. For instance, when wives can't tolerate husbands' nocturnal teeth grinding and lip smacking yet get denied divorce. Some hire us to collect evidence of infidelity. Reality presents far more complex scenarios than this, endless varieties requiring shrewdness. With my morally flexible mindset, I'd found my calling. This was my debut assignment: make an illegitimate heir voluntarily renounce inheritance rights. The target? Self-explanatory. Initially I'd thought it simple, just some affair-born kid. My limited conscience felt no pressure manipulating a young man in his early 20s. I rented the apartment nearest to Ethan's residence, meticulously studied his routines, and crafted strategies. Yet after one day's contact, my defenses crumbled spectacularly, trapping me in ethical limbo. Ethan. What kind of man could make someone as empathy deficient as me experience guilt for the first time? Screw overthinking, I'll cross bridges when reaching them. For several days, I hibernated between gluttonous meals and prolonged sleeps, rebuilding mental fortitude. Ethan texted twice during this period. The first message showed his homemade braised pork ribs. Still not hungry? Come downstairs and eat. I didn't reply. The second message was brief: Qatar misses you. Again. I stayed silent. On the fourth day, I knocked on the door of Unit 1601. Ethan Wright opened it wearing linen loungewear that accentuated his tall frame. He blinked in surprise before narrowing his eyes dangerously. Who bit you? Caught off guard by his first question, I froze. What? His thumb brushed my lower lip, tracing the scab. I said, who bit you? His calm tone barely concealed the storm beneath. I finally remembered the self-inflicted bite mark from days earlier. Smacking his shoulder playfully, I laughed. What nonsense. This wasn't from anyone. Ethan didn't press further or ask about my recent absence, which I appreciated. He remained his sweet, puppy-eyed self, gaming with me, cooking his signature dishes, taking Qatar for evening walks. Our ambiguous dynamic grew addictive, making me forget my original motives for approaching him. God, this situationship haze was intoxicating. Days blurred until Mid-Autumn Festival forced me to face reality. Jade. I bought groceries. Let's celebrate together? Staring at Ethan's text, I finally typed, okay. 6 artfully plated dishes adorned our table. Beside them sat 2 beer cases and a baijiu bottle, all my contributions. Cracking open a can, I declared, festival rules, we drink till dawn. Ethan clinked his drink against mine, downing it in one go. Amber liquid trickled down his pale throat into his collar. 2 beers later, he resembled a boiled lobster, flushed from forehead to toes. I'd never seen someone blush so intensely from alcohol. His pinkened cheeks begged to be pinched. Jade. He slurred, pupils unfocused. What's your job anyway? Half teasing. I answered. You are my job. Whether comprehending or not. He flashed a goofy grin. You're ridiculous. I chuckled. Not ridiculous. The tipsy puppy protested, brows furrowing. All right. I'm the ridiculous one. My placating tone amused him. Yes. You. His head thudded against the table mid-sentence. After 5 motionless minutes, I shook his shoulder. Ethan? Ethan? Dead weight. Hoisting his arm around my neck, I dragged him to bed, drunkard's way triple. I swear. Midnight shadows cloaked the bedroom, faint light bleeding through the doorway. I sat on the edge of the bed, my fingers tracing the striking features of Ethan's face from his deep-set eyes to the straight bridge of his nose, down to his chiseled jawline. After what felt like an eternity, a barely audible "I'm sorry" escaped my lips in the darkened bedroom. pulling the contract from my bag. I dabbed red ink on Ethan's thumb. Just as I was about to press it onto the paper, I froze. I didn't want to do this. Really didn't. Neither I nor Sun Yaoan, Ethan's father's wife, had the right to decide Ethan's future. Screw this. I'll just pay the penalty. Can't afford it? Whatever. They can't actually kill me. As I started putting the contract away, two eyes silently opened in the darkness. Why hesitate? The sudden voice made me jump. The contract slipping from my hands. How long have you been awake? Ethan sat up. Completely sober. He repeated with unfamiliar coldness. Jade. Why hesitate? All the puzzling moments finally connected in my mind. I stared at him dumbfounded. Because I don't want to. When Ethan leaned down to pick up the contract, I slapped it away like I was scalded. Don't look. Don't need to. It's the inheritance renouncement document. Isn't it? Chills seeped from my very bones. Since when did you know? He pulled out a cigarette box from the nightstand, lighting one under my shocked gaze. The smoke blurred his features into someone terrifyingly unfamiliar. From our first meeting, you demonstrated unusual familiarity with me. So I concluded three possibilities. 1. You wanted my looks though attractive to you. Not enough for this elaborate scheme. 2. You wanted money yet ignored all the valuables I deliberately displayed. 3. Someone sent you. The who and why were obvious. I stayed silent, feeling intellectually obliterated for the first time. Fucking hell. So you're sharp hearing, you knew why the dog went missing from the start? Yes. I snorted bitterly, impressed by his acting skills. Why not stop me? Not afraid I'd hurt your dog? Ethan opened the nightstand drawer, stubbing out his cigarette. Actually, it wasn't just hearing, the elevator doors were reflective. Me, you've got to be kidding me. I saw that guy. The one you chased beating downstairs, he called you sis. Wanted to see what elevator you would do. I closed my eyes, replaying every moment with Ethan like a movie montage. Don't worry. He doesn't buy, holy shit. Where's my dog? If you don't mind, clean up at my place. Sis. Somehow. I just feel I can trust you. The realization hit I was truly just the comic relief. What mindset had he maintained while acting with me? Tears fell without warning, darkening the bed sheet. I had no right to cry the deceiver was me. Yet I couldn't stop. Ethan turned my face, gently wiping my tears. With bittersweet resignation, he said, Jade, I wish you'd approached me, just for yourself. Then he picked up the contract and pressed his thumbprint without hesitation. I gasped in horror. What are you doing? He shrugged. Even if Sun Mylan hadn't pulled this stunt, I never planned to inherit the estate. That company was where my mother's happiness went to die makes me sick. But since she hired you, I figured I'd play along. Pfft. Only she'd see that pocket change as real money. I make triple that annually. Fuck. Why didn't you say so earlier? Still. My guilt lessened slightly. At least I hadn't derailed Ethan's life. Clutching the contract, I stood to leave when Ethan stopped me. Jade, come to the hospital with me tomorrow? I immediately understood, nodding agreement. The hospital's solemn atmosphere pressed down on us. Ethan pushed open the hospital room door to reveal a gaunt man on the bed. The patient's clouded eyes brightened upon seeing Ethan. Ethan? Come in. Following Ethan inside, I noticed two women, Sun Mylan and a teenage girl who must be Ethan's half-sister. The man gestured for Sun to serve tea, but Ethan cut him off. Don't bother. 2 things. Then I'm gone. He tossed the contract onto the bed. Your wife's pet project. Signed. Never mention me inheriting your company again, she's probably grinding her teeth raw. Producing a flash drive from his pocket, he threw it at the man. Watch this when you're alone tonight. Before anyone reacted, he dragged me out. I called over my shoulder, "Mrs. Son, consider your commission fulfilled. Wire the balance." Her face turned granite. The man's roars and woman's pleading followed us down the hall. But real men never look back at explosions. That flash drive. Evidence of Son's affair. I gaped. How? Ethan smirked. She hires family consultants to approach me. I hire some for her. My jaw dropped. How had I ever mistaken this razor-sharp man for some harmless puppy? Brother. We turned to see the girl from the hospital room. Up close. The genetic disparity stunned me. Ethan's sculpted features versus her plainness proved his mother's DNA dominance. Will you visit us? She asked hopefully. No. But we're family. Ethan chuckled coldly, walking away. I told the girl softly. His home's with me now. Understand? Go back inside. Outside, Ethan stood beneath maple trees, his striking looks drawing stares from passing girls. I approached, words failing us until he broke the silence. Jade, I wish you'd approached me, just for me. He'd said this twice now. It wasn't intentional this time. But Ethan had already walked away, his solitary figure shrinking in the distance. From age 13 until now, he'd walked this path alone. A full decade. I should have realized sooner. How could someone who'd been fending for himself since childhood remain an innocent puppy? Life would have devoured him whole otherwise. Standing before Unit 1601, my palms kept sweating, each wipe instantly replaced by fresh moisture. Jade, get it together. This isn't like you. I took a deep breath. Hand raised to knock when the door swung open from within. Ethan froze at the sight of me, the leash in his hand going slack as Couture bounded toward me with enthusiastic whines. After a month's absence, his hair had been cropped shorter, revealing a smooth forehead that accentuated his sharp features. My tension dissolved instantly. Hi. I'm Jade. Want to be friends? The young man's eyes crinkled into a painting-worthy smile. Ethan. Am I seasoning, salt or vinegar? Sugar. Epilogue, excerpts from Ethan's diary. June 15, 2008. A classmate asked why they've never seen my dad pick me up. Told him I don't need that. My mom's Superman. April 20, 2013. School started mandatory boarding. Cafeteria food sucks. Mom began bringing homemade lunches daily. Best mom ever. May 12, 2013. Third critical condition notice for mom. Car crash happened while delivering my lunch. Why wasn't it me? Why? May 13, 2013. Mom's gone. Took my will to live with her. June 1, 2013. Children's Day. Tried cooking 2 dishes myself, burnt. Not half as good as mom's. March 23, 2022. That man came offering his company as compensation. Where was he 10 years ago? Disgusting hypocrite. August 1, 2022. Saw a girl chasing some guy downstairs. He called her sis. Both laughing like maniacs. Maybe. I envied him a little. August 22, 2022. Her name's Jade. She and her brother kidnapped Couture. Then pretended to help me search. What's her game? Performed an Oscar-worthy act just to shower at my place. Gave her my white shirt on purpose, wanted to see her in it. Looked good. Even brought a cockroach. She definitely researched me. Life's bland. But this seasoning's interesting. Played video games together. She's terrible. Yet I didn't mind. Even told her about my family. August 25, 2022. Jade's been MIA for 3 days. Couture misses her. So do I. September 10, 2022. She tried getting me drunk. Played along. When she produced that contract. Hesitated. Does that mean I'm more than business now? Dropped the act. She cried. Wish she'd approached me just for me. October 11, 2022. Met a girl named Jade today. Beautiful smile. She only wants Ethan. November 29th, 2022. The world is like a book. But I'm particularly fond of your chapter. Now I fucking understand what wolf in sheep's clothing means. Ethan, that bastard, has fully revealed his true colors since we started dating. Whenever he's free, he drags me into role-playing scenarios. I wouldn't mind if they were normal. But listen to the shit he comes up with. Round 1 misses. Kurosawa. You wouldn't want Mr. Kurosawa to lose his job, would you? Me, can I say I actually do? Round 2. Yuji's wife is truly beautiful. It's outrageous to let such beauty work outside the home. Me, would you kindly go die? Round 3. Be big sister. Is Nara home? I came to see him. Me, he's not. Get lost. Ugh. Gotta go. He's knocking again. That deep voice sounds muffled through the door, Mrs. Tanaka. Unless we address Soto's grades. He can't continue school this year. Unless. I massage my temples and open the door to embrace the drama queen's enthusiasm. The end.